the master tapes, and it's like, we were just jerking around.
Yeah.
That's not the story Noel tells.
Oh, really?
At all. But I'm going to have to take Noel's side on this one in terms of, Noel was never going to charge him with theft or anything like that, but he had to call one of the higher-ups at Warner Brothers who could, who had the authority to get the tapes, and also was somebody who could actually talk to Don and get them back, because I guess they weren't listening to Noel or Ted or anybody like that.
Right.
So the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Right.
It was an interesting time when they were making the album, because I think, as Noel pointed out, as you had eloquently put before, Dave, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to go on a limb and say there was at least a little bit of that going around, and probably a little bit more than a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that wasn't, it wasn't helping the situation
No.
at all. As Noel pointed out, he wanted these guys to spend the time and make the album, because most Van Halen albums were done in like days or weeks. They were in and out, and boom, they were done.
Right.
And he said, he didn't put them on tour. He said, let them spend the time making the album, which of course Eddie loved, because he had the studio built, and he really wanted to make the album he wanted to make. So they did. They made one of the best albums of their careers,
Sure.
one of the best-selling albums of the careers.
Yeah.
And it was so good, it broke up the band.
Yeah, it was so good it broke up the band. And I do think it is their best-selling album. I think it's even outsold the debut.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. As far as
but either
I know,
way, when you're breaking 10 million in sales, that's just insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And now also, I just want to close out with this. Rolling Stone, named 1984, Van Halen's 1984, in the top 100 albums of the 80s. Dave, where do you think it fell in the top 100?
75.
Well, you were close, young man. You are number 81, which I find pathetic. Now listen to this. This is the top 10. Okay? Now you tell me Van Halen doesn't belong in here. Number 1, London Calling by The Clash. Number 2, Purple Rain by Prince. Number 3, Joshua Tree by U2. Number 4, Remain in the Light by Talking Heads. Number 5, Graceland by Paul Simon. Remember, this is the 80s, the entire decade. Number 6, Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. Number 7, Thriller by Michael Jackson. Number 7, they're playing Thriller. Number 8, Murmur by R.E.M. Number 9, Shoot Out the Lights by Richard and Linda Thompson. Jesus God. Number 10, the self-titled album by Tracy Chapman. Now, my God, first of all, Purple Rain, London Calling, Joshua Tree, Graceland, Born in the USA, Thriller, I get all of that. Okay, they're in the top 10, I get it. You're trying to tell me Van Halen, 1984, is not in the top 10? You've got to be kidding me. Now, this is what they're around, okay? First of all, number 13, Diesels and Dust by Midnight Oil. Are you kidding me? Get the hell out of here. Okay, so, and then, of course, another big album, So by Peter Gabriel, number 14. That deserves to be up there. Okay, and 1999 by Prince, Synchronicity by The Police, number 17. 18 is Dirty Mind by Prince. How many times? 3 Prince in the top 20. New York by Lou Reed, number 19. I love that album, but Jesus Christ. And 20 is The Pretenders. Then they got number 21, Rain Dogs by Tom Waits, and the Smiths' debut album at number 22. Now, this is what's around Van Halen's area. Number 80, ahead of Van Halen, Suzanne Vega. I mean, come on. Then you got 81, which is Van Halen, 1984. Number 2, East Side Story by Squeeze. 83, Let's Dance by Bowie, another classic album. 84, Faith by George Michael, another classic album. 85, Freedom by Neil Young. 86, The River by Bruce Springsteen. 87, Steel Wheels by the Rolling Stones. I mean, come on, Rolling Stone. That album was so damn influential. Sales alone, video influential, singles, the anthems. It's 35 years later. These songs are still being played regularly every day and at sporting events and in movies. And it has over 12 million in sales.
Well, the reason is that 1984 is not artsy-fartsy enough to be in the top. I mean, I'm surprised they don't have Joshua Tree at number 1 because I know how much they love
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah.
There's no lyrical genius going on in 1984, but there never was. I mean, well, let me put it to you this way. There is lyrical genius in how Roth approaches a lyric in a song, but the song topics he's thinking of, I mean, Drop Dead Legs. I mean, that's, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's why it sets them back a little bit, because, if you're not Bono singing With or Without You, then you're nobody. You're nobody.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed what has been subtitled an interview. In fact, it was a trip into David Lee Roth's private little world, a prisoner of the fourth dimension.
Whoa! How about that for rock video music fans? Live all day, all night. You know what you need only right here on Dave TV.
Check us out on Facebook at Dave and Dave Unchained, a Van Halen podcast, on Twitter at DD Unchained, on Instagram at DD Unchained Podcast, and you can email us at ddunchainedpodcast@gmail.com. And just so you know, I'm inserting, we now have a Van Halen news bumper.
Ooh.
Yeah, to get fancy. So you can react to our new fancy bumper. I can't play it because I can't do it at the same time.
Fake reaction.
Give me. I'll tell you exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like Van Halen news. It goes like that. It's really cool. It's like it's very newsy.
Okay,